Hey everybody, fascinating day. Welcome back. Today is my Sunday, but if you're watching this video, I am going to make a homemade keto chicken, creamy chicken, bacon, ranch kind of soup tonight from scratch. Follow along with the recipe and I will be able to get that to you. And again, doing all this in the RV. So again, always on my videos, everybody that watches, I just try to show you how easy it can be to cook in the RV. I got all my items out, everything prepped, ready. Use that counter space. I got the bacon cooking for the soup. So for this recipe, creamy chicken keto soup, I'm calling it. First, start in one of your pots. I did jalapenos, onions, garlic, a little bit of bacon grease. Now I put about a tablespoon of chicken broth in there. I'm really letting that soften. Once you're done with that, you're going to add a whole pack of chicken thighs, guys. I don't care how much you use. 1 pound, 2 pounds, just weigh it out for your family. You're going to put those in the pot, add about 2 cups of broth, just enough to cover the chicken, and just let it simmer and cook down. And in the meantime, I'm going to be prepping the bacon, the seasoning, the cream cheese, everything else to be adding into this. Follow along. All right, everybody, now that my onions, jalapenos are all pretty soft, I went ahead and just tossed the chicken thighs in. Like I said, you can cut your fat off, whatever you choose. And again, I'm doing some salt, pepper, some garlic salt, and then a little bit of a paleo blend that I like from Sprouts. So again, just toss that all in there. Then you're going to cover this again. Give it about 10-15 minutes. Start to see if your chicken's cooking down. And then continue to add the broth as we go to really marinate this chicken. Hey everybody, we're also in the midst of making this cream of chicken keto soup. We are making also keto taco hamburger salad. Again, I keep it easy, everybody. I got my butcher's blend. This is what I like to use because I try to do a little higher fat. This is grass-fed. This company is amazing. $8.99 a package at Publix. Can't go wrong. If you're trying to look for a good change in your diet and you want some tortillas but don't want it with all the garbage, Siete almond flour. Look at this ingredient list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. This is the way to go. And again, I'm only going to get 20 carbohydrates for 2 tortillas. That's a great serving. So in the midst of after cooking, I got everything prepped. My jalapenos. I'm going to do the hamburger meat. Throw that in the pan. While the soup is cooking. And I'll show you the end result soon.
We're on record, right?
Okay.
So this is on record. Instead of hitting stop, just hit again, and it's going to be on the same video that's going. See the clock up here? Go again.
All right, here we go. We're starting the meat. And remember, everybody, anything that you want to add into your meat, or even if you're going vegetarian, anything that's prepped prior, do it till it's nice and soft. Get a glaze on those jalapenos. If you want onions, if you want peppers, if you want adobe peppers, you want anything, get them cooking first, and then you add in your meat and your seasoning. And here we go also, everybody, we're going to add in a prep of rice. So this is probably one of my most intense videos. And I kind of feel like with my channel, I'm going to kind of teach everybody just even how to cook. People that like are even confused how to cook. Here we go. We got pepper starting. I'm about to add in the beef. We got the keto chicken creamy soup working. And I've added in rice. All right, I went ahead and got the meat in the pan, everybody. Again, I'm going to do 1 pound. Always, you can eyeball this with how big your family is. Cook that meat down so it's about a medium well temp. And then what we're going to do is drain out that fat. And then we're going to add in your taco seasoning. If you guys want to keep it simple and add a pouch from the store, feel free. Follow those instructions. I think it's about a 1/4 cup of water. But I'm going to keep it even more organic. And I'm going to do my own taco seasoning. I do a blend of this chili lime adobe seasoning from Kroger, a little Frontier taco seasoning, and Spice Hunter's Mexican seasoning I'm going to do from scratch. All right, everybody, my chicken is now cooking up a little bit. We're probably at a medium, but what I like to do is go ahead when it's nice and soft like this and start shredding. Okay, because remember, you want this to be a nice shred on this chicken soup. You don't want big chunks. So again, pull it out. Use that fork. See how that shreds nicely? And then we're going to add it back into the pot to get it to cook a little bit more. So you do that with all your breast. Get it back in there cooking so that chicken's done and ready. And then we'll go on to the next phase of adding all the cheese and get you a nice creamy soup. All right, now on my recipe I'm doing, again, always remember that one of these containers of your broth is going to give you about the 4-cup serving. So I'm going to start with 4 cups. And then what I'm going to start with too is a package and a half of cream cheese. You can do 16 ounces, but I'm only going to do a package and a half because I'm going to try to see what consistency I get. And then you want to do about 2.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Any type you like. So what we're going to do is, once this cooks up a little bit more, we're going to add in the cheese, let it start to whisk, cook down, and I'm going to use an emulsifier to also get my soup a little creamier, and I will show you that magic. Alrighty, as you can see from my newbies, maybe you are new to cooking, here we go. Our beef, we're going to go ahead and strain it into the sink. Alright, now I said, everybody, remember, in an RV sink, the last thing you ever want to do is pour grease and hot liquids down your drain with food in. It will cause you the biggest clog. Don't do it. So as I do, I strain, and I got a little container here that I just kind of invented myself to pick up most of these drippings. Because again, you do not want that going down your drain. That will cause the biggest clog ever in an RV tank, and that's the last thing you want to do. Now once we've strained that out, you're going to come back over here.
Go.
Okay, so once you got it drained, just get that meat back in the pan. And then what you want to do is you want to get that almost up to a high heat because you want it to boil. So get your propane up a lot hotter. Now if you got the package, just throw the pack in. If not, like I said, I'm going to really layer my seasoning. I really want a good Mexican taste on this. Yeah, look at that. And now about 1/4 cup of water, y'all. I like fresh lime juice too, so I'm going to squeeze a little bit of that in. And then this is a 1/2 cup. But again, just do about a little half of that. Get that in there, and then just let that get to a boil. And then you're going to bring it down to a simmer, and then that'll be ready for your taco night.
You're on.
Okay, now see how this is really starting to boil up? Again, if you want to add a little bit more water for flavor, because what this does with your meat is when you put that water in there and bring it up to a boil with that seasoning, go down to low simmer, that meat's going to absorb all that flavor. And you're going to get that really good taco seasoning taste in that meat. So always as I stay, I like to eyeball a little bit. Again, I'm not a chef. I am a cook in an RV, trying to cook keto, low carb tonight. Alright guys, I just checked on my soup. Looks really good. Again, just taste test your chicken, make sure it looks great. Now it's time to add in the 12 ounces of cream cheese. I had to do some math. And again, like I said, a 1.5 cups of some shredded cheddar cheese. Get a good whisk. I'm going to whisk it in here non-stop so it starts to get creamy. And then I'm going to show you how to use an emulsifier if you really want to get that thick, creamy texture on your soup.
Go.
Okay, now look, see the soup's getting nice and creamy. That's because I've been sitting here whisking the cream cheese. So now I'm going to do 2 cups of this Cabot Creamy. I have like blocking cheese tonight, y'all. I'm a little lazy. Go ahead and dump all that in there, nice and smooth. And then again, just whisk away. So if you don't have an emulsifier, that's okay. Alright, here's us trying to emulsify too. This might go really bad. Go slow. Okay, see? The emulsifier here will help really creamy that up as if it's the same process of going into a food processor. And you want to do this just for a good, like, probably 30 seconds. Just to really get that cream cheese and that cheese blended into that soup real well. And remember, with soup, if you want a more liquid consistency, add more broth. You want a more thicker consistency, add more cheese. Okay, everybody, now remember that bacon I was cooking earlier? Now we're going to add that into the soup. That nice bacon in there. Man, more fats for the keto. Use your whisk on this one, not an emulsifier. Just to kind of add it in and see I'm getting a nice creamy thick. But I want my soup to be a little thicker, so I'm going to add a little bit more cream cheese. And subscribers, I went ahead and took my soup off the heat for now. As you can see, I'm pretty set. Now remember, with the cream soup, you want to get it off that heat so it can get a nice thick consistency. So I'm going to let it sit for about an hour, getting a good consistency. And then I'll put it back on the heat just to warm it up, and I'll show you the aftermath. Alright, subscribers and viewers, here's the aftermath of an easy keto taco dinner. As you can see, lettuce. I did a 1/4 cup of rice, salsa, Greek yogurt, and that hamburger we prepped. And you can do with this all this an easy meal in under 30 minutes. Like and subscribe. Angry RV Hippie. All right, and here's the aftermath of the soup, everybody. I got a keto cream of chicken soup. Check that out again. Follow, DM me, ask me for exact recipes, but follow that whole video and you'll have yourself the most delicious dinner. Angry RV Hippie, subscribe.